The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
A chaotic night at the U.S. Capitol turns Bakersfield Representative Kevin McCarthy into the next House Speaker.
The 11 o'clock news on KTVU Fox 2 starts now.
Hello again, I'm Christina Rendon.
And I'm Alex Savage. It took 15 rounds of voting over several days this week, but Congressman Kevin McCarthy is looking ahead tonight to serving as Speaker of the House.
Contentious infighting in his own party appeared to boil over before arguments were made to make him Speaker. That was the scene tonight after a 14th vote for House Speaker failed for McCarthy. It looked like people on the House floor needed to be held back. Specifically, Republican Congressman Mike Rogers, who got in a heated discussion with Florida Republican Matt Gaetz. Gaetz's vote in the 14th round is among the votes that made McCarthy fail in the 14th round.
KTVU's Jenna Katsuyama has been monitoring developments in Washington on the floor of the House throughout the evening, including speeches from the new House Speaker and the new Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries. Jenna?
Alex and Christina, what an amazingly crazy night. It took that 15th round, as you mentioned, in order for McCarthy to finally get the votes. He was just sworn in as the Speaker in the past 15 minutes or so and handed the gavel by Hakeem Jeffries, who also was sworn in as the House Minority Leader for Democrats. Now, this all happened by a very narrow vote, with some Republicans having to vote present in order to get McCarthy the majority of the votes he needed. The final vote was 216 to 212. It was a contentious, chaotic night. Those far-right members of the GOP held out to the very end in opposition against McCarthy. And that comes after a chaotic week where he faced opposition from no less than 20 far-right Republicans at one point who refused to back him in vote after vote. As you mentioned, Republican Matt Gaetz at one point was in outright conflict with other Republicans. Speaker-elect and now Speaker Kevin McCarthy addressed the House at 1:16 a.m. Washington time. He took the gavel, acknowledging how much more difficult the path had been than he had expected.
There will be times we agree, and many times we will differ. I promise our debates will be passionate, but they will never be personal. That's my commitment to you.
McCarthy took the oath of office past midnight. And also tonight, Democrats applauded their own change of leadership. The new House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York paid tribute to the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Representatives Steny Hoyer and James Clyburn.
Let me begin by acknowledging the distinguished gentle lady from the great state of California, the iconic, the heroic, the legendary Speaker Emerita, Nancy D'Alessandro Pelosi. Speaker Emerita Pelosi will go down in history as the greatest speaker of all time.
And following the speeches, the members were sworn in en masse. This was really an unprecedented beginning to the congressional session. McCarthy did say in one of his comments that one of his very first hearings will be held on the southern border. His rhetoric really tonight walking a very fine line between touching on familiar themes from the far right and also apparently offering these olive branches to the Democrats in trying to talk about unity after what has been perhaps one of the most divisive beginnings, particularly within just one party, to any congressional beginning.
And Jen, I mean, I think one of the big questions is, you know, what sort of price did Kevin McCarthy pay here to win the gavel? We still don't know exactly what sort of concessions in particular he made to those holdout Republicans.
That is true. There was talk about, you know, not just the traditional things of perhaps, you know, memberships in different committees, but also maybe a little bit of a softening in terms of how many people it would take to have a recall recall of him as a House Speaker. Certainly in some of the cutaway shots, it was interesting to see the look on Representative Matt Gaetz's face. He did not look happy at all as some people were applauding McCarthy during his speech. He sat there and you know, the tension tonight was just so obvious, and the animosity there. So it will be very difficult for him moving forward as House Speaker.
Yeah, if this process was any indication, the next 2 years are going to be quite interesting. All right, Jana, thank you.